Super Mario 64 was the greatest 3D platformer ever made. For about 5 minutes, until Banjo Kazooie came along and blew it out of the water in every conceivable way. Don't believe me? Check out this graph I made. In fact, Banjo Kazooie did many things better than any game before it. And I don't just mean the way the characters talk smack to each other either, or the fact that a brown bear and a made-up species of bird can form a symbiotic relationship. It goes much, much deeper. I was just a kid when I first played Banjo Kazooie. Those lazy days sitting cross-legged in front of the TV made the long wait for its release all worthwhile. Since those days, I've played it around 1 billion times. And while I can zip through it in just a few hours, each playthrough makes me think that despite the absurdity of Banjo Kazooie's world, in a sense, it feels real.
Take Leaky the Bucket. He's not just a mechanic. He's got a personality and a job to do. In Super Mario 64, it's just a switch that lowers the water. But here, you've got a character with a real voice.
Voice? It's just bucket noises and gibberish. I'd take a simple switch of eggs into a bucket any day. It's gross.
But it sticks with you though, doesn't it?
Nah.
While other games can feel downright abstract, Banjo Kazooie builds its world through its characters. Leaky's job is draining water. The flower pots, they just want to look pretty. The Twinklies in Freeze Easy Peak, they scream when they get eaten. All these things could have been levers, boxes, platforms, and switches, like many of them are in Super Mario 64, designed to deliver gameplay and nothing more. But in Banjo Kazooie, they serve as little reminders that the world is living and breathing around you. While the developers don't exactly go to town to make all this believable, you still suspend your disbelief. The same goes for the story as a whole, with places and elements simply being a means to an end, and yet somehow tangible.
Unlike the castle in Super Mario 64.
What do you mean?
Oh, you know. All the empty rooms and locked doors. Doesn't look very lived in, does it? I can't imagine Peach doing a bikini line in this room.
Well, exactly. But there's something about Banjo Kazooie that just makes every corner of its world feel like it belongs, you know? And it's super self-aware too. It's like the developers are winking at you and saying, yeah, we know this is ridiculous, and we know you get it. It's almost like post-ironic or something.
Post-ironic? Hev, kids don't even get regular irony. They just take everything at face value. Oh, look, a talking bucket. Cool.
Exactly. And that's the genius of it all. When you're a kid, you're just like, oh, a talking bucket. But when you grow up and replay it, and you're like, oh, wait, the developers were totally in on the joke. This is ludicrous.
Oh, you're taking this far too seriously.
The characters are obviously one-note creations, just throwaway ideas, but the sheer conviction in which they're delivered make them unforgettable, and the same goes for all of Grunty's Lair. I can't remember what the hell these things are called in Super Mario Odyssey, but I remember Leaky the Bucket, Nabnut the Squirrel, the Termites, the Tip-Top Choir, Logo. The charisma is just off the scale.
Even the freezing cold water in Freeze Easy Peak has a personality and a voice.
Me. There's only so much gushing I can take.
Oh, come on, Mr. Grumpy. You know you love Banjo Kazooie.
Look, this is just nostalgia messing with your heads. It makes everything seem rosy and perfect. But let's be real. Every time we play now, it's on Xbox with a 4K picture, smooth camera controls, and none of that notes resetting on death bullshit. But I dare you. Let's dig out your crusty old N64, wipe off the dust, hook it up to some shitty old TV and play the original game. I promise, we'll get as far as Bubble Gloop Swamp before Biffa Roundhouse kicks the thing out of the window.
This 1-2 punch of absolute sincerity and conviction, mixed with self-awareness and irony, is still something I'm trying to wrap my head around to this day. Banjo Kazooie didn't invent all this stuff, but damn did they perfect it. For me, nothing comes close. I mean, Super Mario 64 blew me away, big time, as we've chatted about before on this channel. But after BK, going back to Super Mario 64 or anything else just felt empty, like they had no heart, no soul. Mario felt lonely by comparison.
You know, this is exactly why we don't need a Banjo Kazooie 3. Everyone's got the nostalgia goggles on. Even if it was better in every way, it wouldn't matter. Idiots like Biffa would still be dribbling all over the original.
I'd love to see a remake.
Yep, I've been waiting for that. Please, someone, for the love of Steve Mayles, just remake it officially. Then everyone can shut up about it. I mean, look at this channel. This isn't our first rodeo with Banjo Kazooie. There are even more mindless bucket noises and nonsense in this video. And this is the Super Mario 64 one Biffa was on about. But don't you worry, I'm there to sort everything out, even when I look a little washed out for some reason. Before you go, do me a favour, hit that like button. It does help us out. And if you subscribe and turn notifications on, you get to see my beautiful mug every time we drop a video. See you next time!